Let's look at quilting from a fresh perspective. Welcome to a new series of Fresh Quilting, featuring the best concepts and foremost designers from the growing modern quilt movement. Combine traditional techniques with a fresh modern aesthetic. Today, we expand on basic piecing techniques. To start off, author and designer Anna Maria Horner shares her ideas for combining piecing with applique techniques. In a recurring machine quilting segment all season, free motion artist Christina Camelli stitches free motion lazy eights, and textile artist Sarah Sharp adds additional interest and color to her solid blocks with piece strips. Today on Fresh Quilting.
I'm Anna Maria Horner. I am a fabric designer as well as a quilt designer and sewing pattern author. And today I want to share with you one of my favorite techniques to create a patchwork quilt, and that is combining simple patchwork with applique. One of my favorite patterns that I've done this year is a quilt that I call the Plot Twist quilt. And it's a combination of striped patchwork background, so really straightforward patchwork, with some overlay of applique. And that striping itself actually sort of dictates the height of this row of ovals that I have on it, and that sawtooth design, just a simple row of half square triangles, sort of makes this really simple line down the center. And I've really continued to play with those elements in other quilts that I've made. You can see that the vines that grow around this one are very organic, and I did them all with machine applique, raw edges and fusible. And I've continued to do another version of this quilt where I've actually switched the elements and had one single vine in the center, which really grew some big flowers, and I just went wild with the different styles of applique on it. But again, all machine applique, so not too labor intensive. And then I set those sawtooth strips down the sides of it instead. And then I also have this smaller quilt here that was made by my friend Pam Matthews. It's really beautiful. Again, all the same elements of design. I have the striped background, a row of ovals that the height of are dictated by the height of the stripes, and vines growing around them, and a completely different style of florals. So I like that I'm building this structure, but then kind of just going for it with the different floral shapes and applique. This one is actually also done on the machine, but it's done with that clear thread and with a really tiny blind stitch, so it's almost completely invisible. And then we did the sawtooth just out to the side on this one. Now, if you like handwork, you are more than welcome to do your applique by hand. This is actually a different design that I call the cross-country quilt, and this one was completely hand appliqued and needle turned down, and I also hand quilted this one as well. So today what I wanted to share with you is just some little tips and tricks about what I'm thinking about as I'm putting together one of these quilts, both in the design and just the straightforward techniques of good things to have in mind as you're chopping up your patchwork background. So you can see that I have this piece started here, kind of setting forth that same structure of background stripes and an oval shape. And today I even let this one big stripe further have some smaller stripes within it. And I've decided to do an oval, again, that's the same height of it. And the first step that I'm gonna do for the applique, now that I've got my patchwork background finished, is just to machine baste it in place at the edges. So just about a 1/4 inch away from the edges. And the cool thing about that is it's gonna end up getting hidden in the vines that I put on it in just a minute. So why don't we sew that? So I have my machine set with just the regular foot and a long basting stitch. And if you want to pin this in place, you can, but I feel pretty confident about just getting started. So again, a 1/4 inch from the edge. Just slowly baste around that curve. Okay, there's really no reason to do any sort of back tacking on this.